Good morning, welcome back to the Scrummy Cooking Kitchen. 2020 is coming to an end today. It's New Year's Eve and I'm going to cook a delicious recipe for my dinner tonight. So I'm going to do a stuffed butternut squash. So why am I using butternut squash? Well, it's definitely lower in carbs than a potato. You could do this with a potato if you're not sure about butternut squash, but I actually think this is more delicious. It's got more fibre, it's got loads of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. It's really, really good for you. It's quite low in calories, so it's a really nice option and it tastes absolutely delicious. So I have roasted the squash already because I want the flesh to be nice and soft, and then I'm going to talk to you about what I'm going to put into it to stuff it. So I've got some chorizo. If you didn't want to use chorizo, you could use just sausages, veggie sausages, but I would say that the chorizo gives it a really, really nice warm flavour. So if I was going to use something, if I didn't have chorizo for example, and I was going to use something different, I would probably put some smoked paprika into the pan and maybe a bit of garlic, and that give you that similar sort of flavour profile without using the chorizo. So if you don't eat pork for example, or you don't eat meat, then that's a way of getting that similar sort of flavour. I've got one onion. I have got this chorizo, by the way, I just bought ready diced in a small pack from the supermarket, and it's just one pack. So I've got a red pepper, which I've just cut up nice and small. It's roughly diced. It's not precision cooking. This is just, just chop it up. I've got 3 mushrooms in here. And I've got about a cup worth of cheese. Now, you can use any cheese. The butternut squash obviously is quite sweet, so you want a salted cheese to complement the fact that the butternut squash is sweet. So feta's a really good one to use. You could use blue cheese, you could use camembert brie, anything like that, anything that melts a little bit, mozzarella. I've actually got mozzarella in here. I've just cubed it. And I've also got I've got cheddar in here. I was thinking about putting parmesan in, but then I thought, oh no, I've got 2 cheeses already. I've got my sort of cup full, so I'll leave it at that. But any cheese will do. The stronger the cheese, the better really, because you want to be able to taste it. If you just put in some mild cheddar, it's not really going to do very much. But this is a nice mature one. I've got some peas just because I wanted some green in there, but this is a dish where you can just put in whatever you like. There's no sort of set recipe. You just put in what you've got, what you like. I've got a couple of cloves of garlic, and then I've got some herbs. I've got some parsley which I've just chopped up. I've got some thyme where I've just taken the leaves off. There's about 3 sprigs of thyme in there, a little handful of parsley, and I've got ½ teaspoon of dried oregano just because I didn't have any fresh oregano, and I think they work really, really nicely in this dish. But again, with the herbs, put in what you like. I've also got 3 small tomatoes. Well, I say small, like medium-sized tomatoes, not the big ones, just normal sized tomato, salad tomato, which I've just again chopped up. So nothing that is too unusual, but it tastes amazing once you've finished it. So let's get going. I am going to turn this on my frying pan. We get the nice noise from the fan. And in my frying pan I've just put a little bit of oil. So any oil will do. And I'm just going to start with my chorizo because I want that to start flavouring the pan. So in it goes. While I'm doing that, I'm just going to move some of these things out of the way, and I'm going to take my butternut squash and start to prepare that. So let's just bring that down here. Now I roasted this for about 40 minutes in the oven at about 200 degrees centigrade. I will put on the bottom the temperatures. If you're Fahrenheit or gas mark, I'll put that on the temperature at the bottom of the screen, and I'll stick it in the description. So this is starting now to cook a little bit. and the oils are starting to come out, and they're just, you know, they're just amazing. They taste so good. Right, butternut squash. I'm just going to stick a fork in it to start with because I want to break it up slightly. You can see how nice and soft it is. You can also see how nice and fibrous it is. This makes a brilliant mashed potato. You know, if you don't eat potatoes like me, because I try and eat less carbs, then this works really well. It's amazing on top of shepherd's pie. So I'm just going to break it up slightly. I want to keep the shell because that's what we're putting the filling back into. And rather than having to mash it in there, it's easier just to break it up like this with a fork. So I'm just taking the contents of the butternut squash out and into this bowl. I've just let this butternut squash cool a little bit just so that I could pick it up, because when it came out of the oven it was so hot I just thought, not touching that. Now I'm not going to keep this chorizo in the pan for too long, because if I just put everything else in on top of that, it's going to burn and then it goes a bit bitter. I don't really want that. So just wipe my hands. That is enough. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. I'm just going to take my little hob thing is going mental because it wants the pan back on there. I'm going to take that off, but I'm going to leave some of the oil out. Okay, I'm going to turn that down slightly because I have burnt it a little bit, but never mind, it'll be delicious. In goes my onion and my peppers. This is going to go back in the oven, so you don't need to cook them absolutely right through, you just want to colour them a little bit and soften them a bit. And at this stage I'm going to add a bit of salt and pepper. I'll have to check this at the end, but I don't want to put too much salt in because the chorizo is quite salty and the cheese is quite salty. So we don't want to go mad at this point, we just want to put a little bit in and then we can check it towards the end. Okay, while I'm doing that, I'm just start mixing that in. Mushrooms in. You're saying I didn't want to burn my chorizo, and I've got some really nice crispy bits in there. Never mind. Tomatoes in. Peas in. I've just used frozen peas. Now at this stage I'm going to put my garlic in. I didn't put it in earlier because I want the flavour of the garlic, but I don't want the garlic to burn, unlike my chorizo. Now my herbs can go in. And that just looks lovely on its own, doesn't it? Okay, let's just leave that for a second. Now I'm going to add the cheese into this bowl. You could grate the cheese, but I cubed it because I like when you dig into it you get a nice stringy bit out. Messy. What can you do? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, it smells so nice. I'm going to turn that off and let's just move that out of the way. Bring this in, tip this into here. Slowly so I don't get it everywhere. You know it's going to happen. If you've been watching my videos, I haven't done one yet where it's not been messy. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, by the way, please hit the subscribe button. Okay. Now, I'm just going to mix that in. I'm going to try to. Probably not got a big enough bowl here, but hey ho. And all these flavours merged together. It's going to taste absolutely lovely. Right, I'm just going to see if I can find a little bit of butternut squash. There we go. For me, that has enough salt. By the time that cheese is melted as well, it's going to add another little bit of salt to the mix. Now, we've got to stuff this back into here. So, slowly, this will do 2 dinners, because by the time this has got all this stuff in it, it's so filling that I can't eat more than a quarter of one half. So a quarter? Did I just say a quarter? I meant half of one half. A quarter of the whole squash, but half of the half. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that's never ever going to go in there. But it will, because I'm just going to keep piling it on top. One of these is going in the freezer, so I'm just going to pop it over here because then I can carry on stuffing it. It's going to go into a roasting tin. Just pop it in this one. And I can keep piling it. Okay, so this one is going to go in the oven. This one is going to be dinner. And this one here, I'm going to wrap up and I'm going to put that in the freezer, and that's going to be ready for another day. So I'm going to turn the oven on and I'm just going to bake this one for about 20 minutes. So I'll see you back here when it's done. Hello and welcome back. I've now cooked this for a little bit, so it's nice and warm. The cheese has melted. And it is looking good. Right, just wait for that to cool down slightly before I eat it. That's absolutely lovely. That might not make it to dinner time, that might be eaten for lunch. I can highly recommend it. So I hope it's inspired you to cook something maybe that you hadn't done before. And all that's left for me to say is that I wish you a very, very happy New Year, and I hope that 2021 is better for us all than 2020 has been, because let's face it, it's been a bit of a strange one. So if you like the recipe, please tick the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all those other bits and pieces. And I wish you all a very, very, very happy New Year. See you soon. Bye.